begin. Let's start off with the three noticeable things. Is the CGI trailer bad? Yes. Does that reflect the overall tone of the game? Not necessarily. And the biggest one is Saints Row dead? Is this going to kill Saints Row? The answer is probably not, considering that, yes, before we get into this, it doesn't matter that I'm 17, I own this game. It was my favorite game of all time. No other game has come close to this game. So I just want to get that out of the way here, that I am, an OG, but I'm not. I haven't played Saints Row 1. From what I can gather, it's like the Vice City in the GTA franchise before San Andreas. This being San Andreas, Vice City being Saints Row 1. I wouldn't count GTA 3. But yeah, so let's start off with the noticeable things, and that's with that everybody's complaining about the overall game just from the CGI trailer alone. Now, yes, it's obviously a horrible. It was a horrible take at, or a horrible look at the game, considering that oh yeah, we're gonna have this. For the most part, it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon type of deal. Maybe even Fortnite kind of, so I understand why people are comparing that to it. But again, keep in mind, guys, this is a CGI trailer. This isn't the actual game. If you actually look at the gameplay, it looks a little bit more closer to Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 2. Just by I think it was 19 seconds, maybe 20 seconds of gameplay alone. You look at the screenshots, you're going to be like, oh yeah, those look like familiar screenshots as well. But no, you guys continue to hate on the stupid gameplay trailer, or not the gameplay, CGI trailer, and you go all around disliking everybody else's videos just because it says, or just because it's promoting the game, and everybody's like, oh, this game's dead, it's SJW bullshit. And to be fair, it is. However, it's the representation of the Saints that obviously, ruined the game, and it's not the game as a whole. So let's stop saying oh, I understand if you're not a fan of the setting. I'm all for it, because I never got to play Total Overdose, and this looks kind of similar to that. And on top of that, I think it's a very interesting direction to where they decide to take the map. The only thing I could think would be Gangster Vegas, which people are also comparing to. They're comparing Gangster Vegas, Total Overdose. And yeah, I totally agree with that the representation of the Saints is awful, considering that, I've played Saints Row 2. I played Saints Row the Third. I played Saints Row 4. I played Gat Out of Hell. And obviously, no other game came close to being my favorite that isn't Saints Row 2. So, I can tell you, you can ask everybody I know or everybody I've mentioned the game to, they'll tell you the same thing. I praise this game, and I understand everybody's disappointment with the trailer. That doesn't mean that we should be going to dislike videos defending it, because they're not defending the SJW bullcrap. They're defending the game, because you're going off of a CGI trailer, in which CGI trailers either, make or break the game. For the most part, they break the game, because people are like, oh, this is not what the game's like at all. Yeah, in this case, it's a good idea. Now, for those who obviously don't listen to Flippy, don't listen to Mr. Saints Godzilla, or RPG Gameplay, I think that's his name. You should, because they're OG Saints Row fans, and they're they're involved with people that designed the game, or had that worked on the old games, and you should be asking those people questions, or people that actually worked on the game questions, rather than going off of opinions that random people are saying on the internet, saying that oh, the game's dead. Or the franchise is dead, or this game's going to kill the franchise, or this game's not. It's just trash. Everybody's saying it's trash, which again, you're going off of a CGI trailer of all things. If it was a live action trailer, you wouldn't be saying, oh yeah, this game's garbage because it was a live action trailer. You wouldn't be doing that. But no, it's because it's a virtual thing that, represents the game, but it's not. According to Mr. Saints Godzilla, it doesn't represent the game. And he had experienced gameplay with the game, and he knows better, and you guys should be asking people like him those questions. Is the game trash? Which it's not. I don't think there's anything else to cover. Basically, yeah, don't listen to any of the random people going like, oh, Saints Row's dead, or, this game looks like trash, or my negative reaction towards this game, or this game is SJW bullshit. Don't listen to those people. Listen to people within the Saints Row community. Flippy, Mr. Saints, Godzilla, RPG Gameplay, Irish Coffee. Listen to those people. And then you'll get the answer you're looking for. Not to mention, go and look at the information on the game too. How they're talking about adding extensive customization that's better than any of the customization that they've had in previous games. That's huge. Also, the empire building, which, that's a questionable thing, considering that some recent games that have that haven't really done well. Mafia 3, for example. But yeah, you should definitely look more in depth into it rather than just looking at a trailer and be like, oh, this game's garbage. Not buying it. Killed the franchise. The franchise was dead after Saints Row 4. Or 3rd. Yeah, and aside, on top of that too, there's also, I haven't watched the video yet. I kind of refuse, but I'm going to check it out. Someone said that this is a quantity over quality thing, which really pisses me off, because Saints Row is known for the amount of quantity when it comes to the extensive customization options and just gameplay features as a whole. So you're saying oh yeah, they're adding all this stuff just to distract us from the actual game. You do know that's Saints Row 2 has extensive customization from clothing to the crib designs to the fighting styles that Saints Row the 3rd didn't have, Saints Row 4 didn't have. So you should not Saints Row, but you should be listening to the people that are actually professionals, that are actually within Saints Row community, or designing, or had worked on the old games, rather than random people on the internet saying that this game's trash. And these people have thousands of subscribers too. And obviously, anybody with 300 is automatically getting a freaking ratio in the like and dislike comments. So, yeah, basically, fan bases will come for me probably because I disagree with most of the stuff that the random people are saying. Even though I'm in the Saints Row, or I'm in the Discord with everyone. I've heard them talk about I've heard them actually communicate with each other and say oh this looks interesting, and they're they're trying to figure out the models of vehicles within the screenshots, and they're talking about kind of comparing oh this look, or they talk about the extensive empire building and mechanic and everything like that. And it's a great community. It's a really great community. You should definitely be listening to the people that are actually surrounding this community, because it's a great community. And you shouldn't be listening to random people that played the game years ago complain that everything's garbage now, which I have to agree. The gaming industry right now is awful. Call of Duty Vanguard, for example, no one's gonna buy that, and there's not one game that I'm excited for this year that isn't a kids game, which would be Nicktoons Battle whatever, or the Hot Wheels game. The Hot Wheels, So, I agree with the gaming industry's garbage, but Saints Row isn't garbage just because of the CGI trailer. So yeah, take that. That's all.